What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans. Please hit that like button. More likes, more hooligans. I'm going to read through the chat really quick, make sure everything's running smoothly, and then we will go over the schedule. Oh, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I was going to wear my spooky green hooligan shirt, but then there'd be a big hole in my chest because of the green screen filter that's on right now. But my eyes are green, that's good enough, right? I probably got some Irish in me. What's up, Damon Walker? What's up, Little Boots? What's up, JB? What's up, Shanti? What's up, Sam? What's up, Flash Diane? Happy Freedom Hooligans. Let's see. What's up, Frank? What's up, Robert? What's up, Ting Ting? What's up, Shadow? What's up, Captain Seamus? Happy Freedom Hooligans. Appreciate you guys being here. What's up, everyone on the JeffMAC Live YouTube channel? What's up, Toy Mafia? What's up, Miss Jamie? What's up, everyone on Twitch? There's a lot of people on Twitch. What's up, Soul For Real? What's up, Two Ruby Shoes? What's up, Morris? Let's see. What's up, Snooks? Happy Freedom. I appreciate you, Snooks. Thank you guys for being here. What's up, everyone over on Odyssey? What's up, Salty Ragu? What's up, everyone? Happy Freedom. What's up, everyone on Rumble? What's up, Pumpkin? What's up, Jeb? What's up, Rubble Rex? What's up, Ghostly Method? Happy Freedom. Got the green in my lungs. That's good enough. I'm saying. We live in America. People cry over the 4th of July. I can't imagine people get too excited over St. Patrick's Day. What's up, everyone on jeffmaclive.com. Appreciate you guys being here. Expect more issues with the website, just ups and downs. I was working on it until 4 o'clock in the morning again, working with the team. They're supposed to call me at 5 o'clock to discuss the future of the site. So if it goes down, don't you worry, it'll go back up. These things happen. What's up, Donna Sparks? Happy Freedom. Thanks for being here. Alright, hooligans. So on the schedule, we're going to be starting off with Old Man Walter attending the Friends of Ireland caucus, St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day luncheon. We'll be starting with that, and then we have a video that is titled Hyena Harris struggled in this interview. Then after that, we have a video that is titled Who Could Be Against Letting Kids Be Kids? Talking about some bills they had passed in Florida. Then we have a video that is titled Mom Tells Jesse Waters' daughter school encouraged her to eat bugs. Some radical teachers over at this school. Then we have a video that is titled Old Man Walter's new executive orders on guns is flagrantly unconstitutional. Then we have a video that is for the free speech platforms only, talking about shape-shifting predators doing an all-ages story hour in New York City. So give me a second to pull up this video. I'm going to read through the chat one more time, and then we'll get her started. What's up, Grey Wolf? What's up, Lonnie? What's up, Cruiser Die? "24/7. I'm wearing my green in my name." Saying. I appreciate all you guys on the membership program, all you official hooligans. What's up, M Rank? I've been trolled twice today, saying that my Coffee with Hooligan show is just another Louder with Crowder knockoff. If I'm being compared to Crowder, I must be doing something right. I've never watched Crowder, not more than a minute or so. But I think it's really interesting the way that people try to divide each other. Bunch of silly crackheads. Alright, moving forward. Alright, hooligans, let's get her started.
For being here, very happy.
Relic, when you gonna expose the UK protest? We've been covering the Paris protest, but they're over by the time I go live.
Thank you to our former speaker, Nancy Pelosi, for being here as well. Thank you. The Senate is in session, but the House is not. So for our foreign guests, this is very, very important to us. As you'll see, a lot of members came back simply to celebrate this day. We're glad you came back from the Senate, Peter, too. Well, it's a privilege to host all of you today for this wonderful celebration. You know, this tradition began in 1983 when two proud Irish Americans who didn't see eye to eye. One was the President, Ronald Reagan, a Republican. The other was the Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill. One was from California, and the other was from the East Coast. They agreed to break bread in honor of their motherhood and their patron saint. Almost every year since, every speaker, every president, and every prime minister has set aside the issues of the day to gather to toast the great St. Patrick. For us who are members, we talk about the relationship that Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill had. It was special. No one would ever challenge the conservatism of Ronald Reagan. We believe it's the bedrock of what people should stand with. No one would ever question the liberal views of Tip O'Neill, that he proudly stood for what he believed in. But all of us would honor the relationship those two had. And we talk about the moments and times when they rose to the occasion. It was easy to have political fights, but in some of the most difficult issues, even when it came to Social Security, they used the relationship of being Irish to find the way to put America first. And in that moment, in that time, when they had fiscal problems, they found a way to get together. They would always break bread, share some Guinness, and fight hard for their own personal beliefs. And at the end of the day, America was stronger for that. And it's unique that 40 years later, we're back here again. Now, we have Mike Kelly, Richie Neal as our co-chairs. They do a tremendous job for the Friends of Ireland Caucus. We thank you for the work that you do. We are honored to have the Taoiseach back with us again. This is not foreign land to you. You actually served here as a staffer, became a doctor, and you lead your country. We're honored and proud to have you back. And to the Taoiseach who had served here, you know the political battles at times we would have. And this is a unique time for you to be here. Because for America, we know the stakes are high. That a clash is brewing, people say, between the President and I. Of what should we do? Of what would be the ramifications for the entire nation in the coming months? And I think you might be able to settle this for us. Which one of us is more Irish? And to President Biden, from one Irish American to another, I want to strive every day to live up to the example of President Reagan and Tip O'Neill. Our positions may be reversed, but our goals can be the same, that we put this country first. I've watched an Irish heritage create bonds. Joe Kennedy became a member of Congress. He was a good member of Congress. And now he has a bigger job and a bigger task as an envoy. And he's going to make sure he fights to keep the peace. But he and I became friends simply because of our heritage. And we became close. We celebrated together when he got married. We celebrated together when he had his first child, Ellie. And I wanted Ellie to have the experience that I had as an Irish American. And so I sent Ellie a gift. I sent her a rocking elephant. And when Ellie would come to town, Joe would bring her to the office. And I still have this picture where Ellie is holding with Joe and I, and Ellie's making the sound of an elephant with the trunk. And one night, laid on the floor, Lauren, his wife, FaceTimes him. We're not supposed to answer the phone, but he's a good father. He does. And I'm sitting next to him. And they're sitting in Ellie's room, and Ellie is rocking on this elephant. And I proudly look at Joe. And I said, she's going to have the same experience that I did. She's born into an Irish Democrat family, and she's going to become a Republican. Thanks for being here, Joe. But to many of you, just like me, our Irish heritage means a great deal to us. You see, my great-grandfather came from Ireland in the 1860s, Jeremiah McCarthy. He did why so many other immigrants come to America, to dream of a better land, of a better opportunity. There was a new state in this union, California, so he came across. He worked just like many of the Irish on the railroad. He helped build the railroad when others didn't think it was the right job. He then became a cattle rancher. He had 2 sons who went off. And my father, he became a firefighter like a lot of other Irish. I tried to be a firefighter too. I even took the test. But there was a nepotism clause. So to this day, my mother still does not believe I'm a success yet. But maybe one day I'll be able to be that firefighter. But he left County Cork like so many other Irish. But even though he left his homeland, he never forgot the heritage. He never forgot what it meant to fight for freedom. He never forgot to win the values of friendship, the love for this country. And he always remembered that on one given day, everyone in America is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. I lost my father 23 years ago to cancer. He never had an opportunity to see me elected. He would always try to talk about politics. And if my father was alive today, I don't know if he would come for the State of the Union, but he would come for this lunch. He would want to be here. And so if I may, if I can end with my father's favorite blessing, you know it. May the road rise up to meet your feet. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine brightly upon your face. May the rain fall softly in your field. Until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. With that, Mr. President, it is an honor to welcome you back, and it's an honor to welcome another Irish American, and hopefully in our quest that we can lead by example of one that started this 40 years ago. I give you the President of the United States, Mr. Joe Biden.
Eat shit, old man Walter.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have all heard the expression, it's attributed to a guy named Shane Leslie, who once wrote, "Every St. Patrick's Day, every Irishman goes out to find another Irishman to make a speech to." Well, that's why I'm here. I'm glad to be with all of you. And most importantly, I'm glad that we're surrounded by so many friends of Ireland. Here in Washington, we've always been able to work across the aisle on Irish issues, no matter what our politics have been, no matter what else we agree or disagree on. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you for bringing us together again. I was trying to think.
He's looking pretty rough.
Don't get hurt, man. We need you. You okay? All right. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for bringing us together. And thank
you got people kicking the bucket in the crowd.
All the Irish Americans here today who've spent years building a broad bipartisan consensus on the issue of Ireland. You know, Taoiseach, it's great to see you again. We just spent a little time down in the Oval Office, and we just finished the next meeting, so now we can enjoy a little bit of a celebration. You know, to all the friends and leaders who travel from Ireland and Northern Ireland, it's wonderful to see so many of you here once more. I stand here today, like most of you, as a descendant of the Blewitts of County Mayo and the Finnegans of County Louth. I was telling the Taoiseach that when I would have as vice president, I'd always have a breakfast for the Taoiseach before he'd go over to see the president for those 8 years. The 7th year, I think it was, Nance, that went in the Taoiseach, I brought him into the Oval, and he sat down, and before Barack could say anything, he said, He said, for God's sake, Barack, let the boy come home. Let him come home. I'm sure to God, true story. And he said, you keep sending him to places like Afghanistan, Iraq, and all of, let him come home. And you have to help me with the Gaelic expression, 100,000 welcomes. What's the? Kevi Lafacha. And he said, he'll get 100,000 welcomes. And it was one of but they didn't plan on my bringing my whole family. But literally we saw thousands of people. And I was saying that being raised by a grandpop who went to Santa Clara back in the days when Irish in Northeast Pennsylvania didn't very much get a chance to go to college. And he was an All-American football player at Santa Clara. And he came back as a newspaper guy on the business side. And my grandfather used to say that, every time I walk out of his house in Scranton, Pennsylvania, when I lived there for a while, he'd look at me and say, Joe, remember, the best drop of blood in you is Irish. And my grandmother would say, you need more than that. But, but the fact is that when I went over to Ireland, it was a great experience. I'd been to Ireland many times, but not to actually look up to find my actual family members. And there were so many, and they actually weren't in jail. They were all, but all kidding aside, I met the Blewitts and the Finnegans and all of the folks who we were related to. Spent 6 days there, and one of the things that, and the Finnegans were from County Louth. And there's still, if you go to County Louth, there's still a place called Finnegan's Pub, which is, Reverend, it's related to my family. Now, I'm the only Irishman you ever met, though, that's never had a drink, so I'm okay. I'm really not Irish. But look, as many of you know, I, like all of you, take pride in my Irish ancestry. And as long as I can remember, it's been sort of part of my soul, how I've been raised. And, during the times of darkness and despair, it always sort of brings light, strength when you think about what my ancestors went through and what we're going through now. And the history that binds us and the values that unite us. There are values I learned at my grandpop's kitchen table, where he would always, my grandpa's kitchen table, particularly on Sunday after 10:30 Mass at St. Paul's, you get to wander around the table. You never got to sit down when you were a kid, but he had 4 sons, and they'd sit there, and another guy from the newspaper, a guy named Tommy Phillips, who was sort of at the time the David Broder of the Scranton paper, and they'd sit there and they'd talk. And one day, I'm sitting there and talking about a guy that I didn't understand why he was sticking up for him. And he was the city chairman of the party, whose son was the city chairman when I ran for president, at any rate. And he was always in trouble. He was sort of like a late Mayor Daley, a brother-in-law on the payroll kind of thing. And
look how dark his eyes are. He's looking like 1 foot in the grave right here.
I couldn't understand why he was, so liked him so much. And he reached up, and you could wander the table, he just couldn't sit. And he put his arm around me, he said, Joey, come here. And I knew this was about to be a public lesson for Joey. And he said, you're wondering why I like Patty? And I said, no, Grandpa, no. He said, no, you're wondering. I said, let me tell you something. He'd look at you and say, Ambrose, I'm going to cut your heart out. And he'd mean it. Or Ambrose, I'm going to jump off the bridge for you. Whatever he said he'd do, just remember, do what you say. Do what you say. And he was one of those guys who always did what he said. And
he cut your heart out?
My grandfather was, Joey, never.
What are you saying, old man Walter? Come on.
Never. And the values I learned from my mom, Catherine Eugenia Finnegan Biden, she used to say, remember, you're defined by your courage and you're redeemed by your loyalty. You're defined by...
He looks like he's looking right at me.
Loyalty.
I'm about to get victimized.
My father's values were similar, but he had a saving grace. there was a Hanafi on his mother's side of the family from Galway. And, my dad was one of those guys who taught all of us that everyone, no matter who they are, everyone is entitled to be treated with dignity and respect. Everybody, not a joke. My father was
It's not a joke.
called upon and say hello.
Oh man, Walter, you are a joke.
On company we didn't know, but say hello to him and not say hello to the shoe shine guy. That was my dad. And so, everyone was determined. These are the same values that I and all of you, I think, try to pass down to our children about hope in the future. And more than anything, I believe this hope is what beats inside the heart of all of us and all of our people. The idea that there's nothing beyond our...
Relic, you're looking like a Fed in the chat.
For generations...
You should probably go take a nap or something. You're looking real Fed-like. You're looking glowy over there. You should chill out.
Hope that has inspired so many of our ancestors to reach for a future of greater peace and greater security possibilities. To this day, I think hope still brings us together. Hope. Hope. I used to drive Barack crazy because I'd always say to him, Mr. President, the country will never be more optimistic than their president. It's all about hope. It's all about hope. And to this day, hope still brings us together and it's going to allow us to achieve big things, in my view. It's important to keep that in mind that as we approach the upcoming anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. I wish George was here, George Mitchell, who spent a long time, hard to believe, 25 years ago this year, that the agreement was made. It was delivered nearly 25 years of progress in Northern Ireland, which at the time nobody, I thought was possible. There were still people getting killed, still people getting shot, still people at war with one another. For years, people found ways to work across party lines and above the differences to make all this happen. But it was a real struggle, but people never gave up. And as I said, giants like George Mitchell devoted his life to this building and the Congress and the Senate, but he also, he never backed down. He never gave up. And the Northern Irish leaders who are here today, they took a lot of brave steps that were necessary to so that their children might have a better future. And Northern Ireland leaders that are here today, let me say how important it was to see you standing shoulder to shoulder with the Chief Constable Byrne after and affirming your commitment to the future following the attempted murder of Detective Chief Inspector Caldwell. We'll have to continue to work to protect peace and stability. And I met out in San Diego with the British Prime Minister, and we talked about our commitment to the Windsor Framework. It's a vital, vital step, and that's going to help ensure all the people of Northern Ireland have an opportunity to realize their full potential. And I just keep reminding my family and anybody near me that I'm a big fan of Seamus Heaney, and when he passed away, his wife was kind enough to send me a long handwritten note and a copy of his poems that he had, some of which he had written by hand. And
he moves his hands around like he's rapping.
Curate Troy is one of my favorite. And he used the phrase, and he said, remember that history says don't hope on this side of the grave, but then, once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice rises up, and hope and history rhyme. I think we have a chance of making hope and history rhyme, with all our differences. I think those of us who have been coming to this dinner a long time have never been in a case where, from the perspective of the public, the parties and the politics have been so divided as it is now. But I agree with the speaker. There's no reason why we can't find common ground. There's no reason why we can't hope to change this direction of the extremes in both our parties are pushing. I think it's important. I think it's really important. And that's the power of friendship. I think it's
got a little baby gravy in his throat.
It's the strength of our partnership if we work at it. And simply put, I think it's the Irish of it. I think it's the Irish of it. So I hope we can turn this breakfast into a more of an everyday relationship, the way we treat everyone in this Congress, to there's so many possibilities we have. We can disagree on details, but there's nothing, as I always say, just remember, we're the United States of America. Nothing is beyond our capacity. Whatever we've set our mind to,
Sounds rough right now.
no matter what, let's remember that. That's who the hell we are. That's who we have to continue to be. And that's why I'm here. I'm so proud to introduce the Taoiseach.
Thank you all so much, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, members of Congress, ambassadors, esteemed friends and colleagues. It means so much for me to be back here again as leader of our country on our national holiday, and I'm very pleased that I'm joined in the room by political party leaders from Ireland and Northern Ireland, including Jeffrey Donaldson, Mary Lou McDonald,
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Colm Eastwood, Naomi Long and Doug Beattie, and also the Secretary of State.
That's not like he said Mr. Beefy. Klaus Daniels, he got a shout out.
And it's been good to be able to interact with each other over the past couple of days. And I have to say, it's a pleasure to be sat next to the Speaker and the President, not to keep the peace, but rather to thank them for doing so much to protect and promote peace and prosperity on the island of Ireland. So congratulations, Speaker McCarthy, on your election to this great office, and thank you so much for continuing the tradition of the Friends of Irish Luncheon. I know 2 years ago, in your St. Patrick's Day message, you said that on this day everyone is Irish, a sentiment that I think will find unanimous bipartisan support. And I have to say, everyone in Ireland is proud that an Irish American holds the Speaker's gavel. And we wish you the very best in your term as Speaker, and I look forward to working with you on areas of common interest.
Salty Ragu, Tom Hanks looks like shit today.
It was on St. Patrick's Day in 1981 that a great American president, Ronald Reagan, first spoke of the search for a just and peaceful solution in Northern Ireland. Through successive administrations, members of Congress, the US has played a central role in helping us to find that solution. You made political interventions at pivotal moments.
They're making this so official. They should be drinking green beer. That's what Americans do. Thank you so much, Craig Swaffin, for that $50 donation over on Odyssey. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the support.
The IFI's vital work continues today, thanks in no small part to the advocacy of so many of you here in the room today, and we are so grateful for that. And as a nation, we will be forever grateful to the Friends of Ireland caucus for your commitment to Ireland North and South. Mr. Speaker, this year is the 40th anniversary of the first Friends of Ireland lunch hosted by Speaker Tip O'Neill, and I had the pleasure to meet his daughter only the other day, and also attended by Ronald Reagan. Reagan and O'Neill shared a vision of the role that the US could play in promoting and securing peace, helped achieve the impossible. And Mr. Speaker, as you know, this year is also the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. That landmark achievement was made possible because people chose to believe in the potential for peace and the promise of a better future. A bit like that American way of believing things, that anything, in fact, is possible. The efforts of the parties in Northern Ireland and the Irish and British governments would not have succeeded without your input and steadfast support from all our friends and partners here in the US. A cycle of violence that ravaged the island for 30 years or more was broken, and history was made with a remarkable peace agreement based on political leadership, vision and compromise. And now we have to complete that work and fulfil the agreement's promise, not just of peace but also of reconciliation, to build a shared island together. I know that the people of Northern Ireland want to see their political assembly and devolved government back up and running.
What's up, Mia Ria? You haven't missed much. Old man Walter's looking like extra shit today.
So much has been achieved.
Talking about St. Patrick's Day other than drinking green beer.
A new generation
I know it was going to be all this.
are growing up with no memory of the conflict their parents endured. And as somebody who grew up in the 80s and 90s, when political violence was an almost everyday occurrence, that is something to be profoundly grateful for. I believe there are now incredible opportunities for economic development in Northern Ireland, especially with the potential of the Windsor Framework recently agreed between the European Commission and the EU Government. Our task now is to complete that mission and to help the people of Northern Ireland to build a more peaceful and more prosperous future together. Mr. Speaker, today we must also remember how Russia is attempting to deny the people of Ukraine any kind of future through its brutal invasion. While Ireland is a militarily neutral country, we're not politically neutral in the face of violations of international law and human rights. The past 13 months have united us all who believe in freedom and democracy, in the rule of law and the UN Charter. And we stand with Ukraine because silence means surrender, and will not stay silent when liberty, freedom and fundamental human rights are being attacked. So,
you need to wrap this up, dude. You're taking up all my time.
So we will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. And we've seen so many times in history how the story ends if it's not challenged.
All right, drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready to wrap this up. We're not going to be able to move on to anything if we sit here and let this guy just flap his lips off his face like this.
The ongoing cooperation between Europe and the United States to help defend our Ukrainian friends. In the last century, America led the free world in the fight against fascism and then communism. And in this century, America leads the free world once again, and we thank you for that. Mr. Speaker, symbols matter, and occasions...
All right, I'm seeing those ones. Let's get this guy off stage.
...reinforce the invisible...
God, he wanted to tell us his whole life story, too. After Old Man Walter, we ain't got time for that. All right, so this next video is Hyena Harris struggled in this interview, and then we may be able to get on to another video. It's looking like we're going to have a watch party tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time because they want to sit there and drag this on for so long. So we'll be doing a watch party at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to pull this video up, though. All right, hooligans, let's get it started.
All right, Vice President Kamala Harris thought she was in for an easy softball interview when she appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night, and it should have been. But Colbert fawned over the vice president. Even he seemed shocked when she had a hard time answering the simplest of questions. Joining us now is tonight's company senior columnist for townhall.com, Kurt Schlichter, and editor for The Spectator, Amber Athey. All right, guys, this was some pretty basic stuff. I want you to take a look at some of these tough questions.
They look so stiff up there.
Answer. Let me play the first one for you.
And the question was, what is the job of the vice president?
Amber, I mean, I literally felt like it was like an episode of Veep in real life.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but look, here's the reality. She isn't able to define what her job is because every task she's actually been given, she's failed at.
Can't even get Stephen Colbert, who's literally basically like on your team. That's pathetic. I mean, she literally could have said, I'm the border czar, I'm this. He wouldn't have questioned you.
You know, Sean, every time I see her, Hail to the Chief does not play in my head. Circus music does. You know, I sit there in amazement. I mean, I'm not like as actively sorry that she's vice president as Mazie Hirono is, because that means Mazie Hirono's the dumbest member of our Senate. But it's truly remarkable. And my takeaway from all this, Sean, is to fall down on my knees and pray for the health of Joe Biden.
Bingo. You just did it. See, this is the beauty of Joe Biden. He did himself a real smart thing, which is he set himself up by making sure that no one wanted him to ever have anything happen to him, by making sure that she was the vice president. Amber, the first book I ever wrote was called The Briefing. I want to read you a passage from it, right? And see where I'm going with this. I wrote, a few days into the job, I decided I should put the fireplace to use, because there is one in the press secretary's office. Within minutes, the entire West Wing was filled with smoke, and the Secret Service was opening doors to ventilate the area. Apparently, the folks who light the fires also know something about opening the flue. Now I want to play you a clip from last night, the VP on Colbert. Now, I know, Amber, that Joe Biden does all the plagiarizing, but it feels like she kind of stole my story.
I think she probably did. That's a real shame. Although, this is more common than you would think. I'll give you some, a little bit of an out here, Sean. It is not uncommon for people to forget to open the fireplace flue. So I will give you a little bit of a pass on this one. But the fact that it happened twice in the White House, I mean, come on.
Well, in fairness, she did call it a flute, not the flu. Secondly, I will tell you, there are people...
Because she's used to playing the flute. She's real big about playing that skin flute.
There are people that are actually told...
That's her special skill.
...call and do it for you because the building's so old, they don't want you screwing this up. Kurt, I do want to play you one other clip in case we haven't gotten enough. Colbert asked Harris about protests from environmentalists over the administration's approval of this project in Alaska called the Willow Project that they have approved. It's a pipeline there. Let me play it for you.
Skin flute into the chat. You hooligans crack me up.
But at least the word salad was vegan.
Sean, I'm sitting here like Kamala. I'm a California lawyer. How did she pass the bar? You're required to speak English. I don't understand what she's saying, but I'm just grateful that she's not bailing out more felons. I mean, that's something, right?
I just don't understand, though. How do you, at some point, Colbert's not a tough interview. This is not supposed to be a contentious thing. She can't answer the most basic questions.
She's so like the Harlem Globetrotters losing to the Washington Generals.
What's so incredible about Kamala is that she's probably the only politician I know who normally you would want to introduce yourself to the public so that they can get to know you better. But the more that she does that, the more people dislike her. It's like the exact opposite reaction that you want any candidate to have.
Yep. Kurt, Amber, thank you both for being with us. Love to break it down.
You like how he was trying to sell his book right in the middle of that? Well, thanks to old man Walter taking up all my time. We're going to be wrapping this up. I'm going to give you guys the spiel deal. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but we're going to be alive. I hope we're going to be alive. Jesus loves us. We'll be live again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for a watch party. We still have 4 or 5 videos to cover. We have 5 to cover. We have a live with old man Walter later on, and then we got 3 videos for YouTube and another one for the free speech platforms. We may add on to the list there just to lengthen it out. That's what she likes. So give me a second to pull everything up. We're gonna do the spiel deal, and we're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, hooligans. When you get a second, please go to the link tree. On the link tree, you can find the link to join Gilded for free. Gilded is currently the best way to receive notifications for when and where we go live. Every time we go live, you'll also receive notifications for important updates and things I feel you should know. There is a news board on Gilded to keep you up to date with things going on around the world. And there's a ton of hooligans in there to hang out with all day, every day, to chat it up pretty much about whatever you like. So definitely join Gilded. Also on the link tree, you can find links to the merch store if you would like to grab some merch. We have shirts, hoodies, stickers, and coffee mugs. Everything is displayed in black and white or white and black, but if you find something you like, just click on that item to see all the colors that item comes in. You can also find links to PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Stripe, Zelle, and Buy Me a Coffee if you would like to support what I do. And there is a link to the Amazon wish list if you would like to send me stuff. It's really easy to use. Anything you purchase directly from the wish list will be sent straight to me without having to send emails, find addresses, or anything like that. It's really simple. You still have time to send me stuff for the birthday unboxing we're going to do probably in another week or so. If you would like to send me something off of the wish list, you can find the P.O. Box on the contact page at jeffmaclive.com. The website will be back up. It went down. It's going up and down because we're working on things. We're trying to optimize the database and stuff today. So while it's up, you should be able to go to the contact page, find the P.O. Box. If you do send something to the P.O. Box, please send me the tracking number, because the post office will only hold on to it for 3 days and then they'll mail it back to you. And I don't want that to happen. I actually have to head to the post office today to pick up some things some hooligans sent me. I'm pretty excited about it. That's what this pile is over here. You can see the little Amazon package. We're going to have a blast with that birthday unboxing. I can already tell. Anyways, there is also links to the membership programs. There is memberships for YouTube, Gilded, Discord, Odyssey, Rumble, and Twitch. So that's my spiel deal. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, hooligans. Well, that's that for now, because I have to get going. I have somewhere I have to be, and I have to run to the post office. But we will be live again at 7 p.m. Eastern time for a watch party. Hopefully I see all of you there. Read through the chat really quick and we're going to wrap this up. Miss Jamie, no, there's no White House press briefing today. You guys asking me to freestyle. Maybe tonight. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If I freestyle, it's most likely going to be over on jeffmaclive.com once we get things straightened out over there. Well, it looks like everything's good to go. Hopefully I see you guys at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the watch party. We will most likely add to the list just to lengthen things out. Can't wait to see you guys there. Big shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership program, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate you guys, and I would not be able to do this without you. So thank you so much for all your support. I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.